بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يهديه فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ramadan with Jane. Today is 20th Ramadan and hope your Ramadan is healthy, wealthy, wise, and you are fine in these troubling times, so you can stay connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now these times are starting to end. Now the Ramadan, this month is about to end. We're about to, our preparations is about to finish now. And our 10th last days, and in these last days, in the odd night, there can be Laylatul Qadr. So before Ramadan ends, we might have a very big night of power where we can worship as much, even though we are stuck in our homes. So we go on to Surah Muḥammad. We found out how the people did not want to go to war. And now after this, the last part reminds that if you don't want to go to war, we will choose somebody else for that. I'm going to tell you after this what's going to happen. We are going to find out in the 8 verses. So now, it is right now given that the address to those people who are believers also, but they do not want to fight. Now that's why they are having their own defense. They have only one excuse, and they are saying that why isn't a surah لولا نزلت سورة محكمة. But then when it's revealed وذكر فيها القتال رأيت الذين في قلوبهم مرض ينظرون إليك نظر المغشي من الموت, that they have a look of fainting to death. So that is the basically over there, that excuse which they make. But then after that, when something is told over there, it's all done. Now after this, فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لِذَنْبِكَ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ مُتَقَلَّبَكُمْ وَمَثْوَاكُمْ. Then it's just like that, go to the straight path, that's it. وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, now here we come the verse. وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَوْلَا نُزِلَتْ سُورَةٌ. Now again, it's coming over here that we want a surah. Why isn't there a surah? And we want a very compact one which tells us about this. Then after that, and then they change their base. They are like, first of all, they're like very big, like why isn't the surah revealed? But then when the surah comes, they have the different approach. وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَوْلَا نُزِلَتْ سُورَةٌ فَإِذَا أُنزِلَتْ سُورَةٌ مُحْكَمَةٌ وَذُكِرَ فِيهَا الْقِتَالُ. Now the different approach. رَأَيْتَ الَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِم مَرَضٌ يَنظُرُونَ إِلَيْكَ نَظْرَ الْمَغْشِيِّ عَلَيْهِ مِنَ الْمَوْتِ فَأَوْلَىٰ. That is basically their excuse, and then they finally have that look of trying to do that. And then when you go without them, you come back and they found out you have won, they say شَغَلَتْنَا أَمْوَالُنَا وَأَهْلُونَا فَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَنَا. So that is the game which is played over here. Now after that, طاعة وقول معروف فإذا عزم الأمر لو صدق الله لكان خيرا لهم. Now they said the obedience was better. Then why would you do like that? فَعَلَسَيْتُمْ إِنْ تَوَلَّيْتُمْ أَنْ تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَتُقَطِّعُوا أَرْحَامَكُمْ. Why would you do that? Then you sever your ties and you would do mischief in the land. Then after that, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ لَعَنَهُمُ اللَّهُ فَأَصَمَّهُمْ وَأَعْمَىٰ أَبْصَارَهُم. Those are those people who are having the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those people who are openly the kuffar. But then there are those who are totally sugar-coated capsule of poison, who are from the inside a big poison to the Muslim. Now after that, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ ارْتَدُّوا عَلَىٰ أَدْبَارِهِم مِّن بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الْهُدَى الشَّيْطَانُ سَوَّلَ لَهُم مَا أَمْلَىٰ لَهُمْ. It is again that those people who have turned back, they are there. That is those people, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ قَالُوا لِلَّذِينَ كَرِهُوا مَا نَزَّلَ اللَّهُ سَنُطِيعُكُمْ فِي بَعْضِ الْأَمْرِ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ إِسْرَارَهُمْ. This tells over there that they have a secret. They're scared of death and believers are not. And that is like that. We found in Surah Al-Jumu'ah. In Hadu, they had said to the Jews, زَعَمْتُمْ أَنَّكُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ لِلَّهِ فَتَمَنَّوْا مِن دُونِ النَّاسِ فَتَمَنَّوْا الْمَوْتَ. And they don't do this, فَتَمَنَّوْا الْمَوْتَ فَكَيْفَ إِذَا تَوَفَّتْهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَضْرِبُونَ وُجُوهَهُمْ وَأَدْبَارَهُم. Again, now we found out that they were doing such a big plot over there. But then how will they feel in the end? Of course, they are doing to their own nafs their harm. So when they will be smiting at their necks, the answers, what will happen? Now after that, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ اتَّبَعُوا مَا أَسْخَطَ اللَّهُ وَكَرِهُوا رِضْوَانَهُ فَأَعْبَدَهُمْ. What is the reason? Because they disbelieved. But they were not these type of disbelievers who were born disbelievers, who had a family of disbelievers, who had a nasab of disbelievers. They were those people who believed, then disbelieved. There is actually a mention of this in Surah Al-Najm about a person who believed, but then a person said to him that, what do you think about your tribe? And then he stopped it. So then just like that, now people who have believed, but when they think about war comes, they leave it. So that is basically told over here, that some people actually just leave it away when they hear about war, but it should not fear of that. Of course, we think of our Lord, and of course we are on the right path, so nothing to fear. Then after that, حسب الذين في قلوبهم مرض أن لن يخرجوا الله أضغانا. Or there is a disease of hypocrisy in their hearts. Now, when we find out in the next verses, that you will find them their marks like this over here. وَلَوْ نَشَاءُ لَأَرَيْنَاكُمْ فَلَعَرَفْتَهُمْ بِسِيمَاهُمْ وَلَتَعْرِفَنَّهُمْ فِي لَحْنِ الْقَوْلِ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ. What is this? في لحن القول. Yeah, there are marks. وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَهُمْ تُعْجِبُكَ أَجْسَامُهُم. They look like that, but then their qawl that tells who is pious and who is wavering. Al-ismu haka fi nafsi. It's like, it's a hadith. Al-ismu haka fi nafsik. And that means it tells you, when your speech it finds out that sin is wavering in your heart. And when your qalb is evil, your whole body is evil. Your speech is evil. Just like we found out, ala wa hiya al-qalb. وَإِذَا فَسَدَتْ فَصَلَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ. And it is like that over here. Just like that, when they are in this, they are always wavering in their heart. So you can't get it, but of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. Now after this, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ حَتَّى نَعْلَمَ الْمُجَاهِدِينَ مِنْكُمْ وَالصَّابِرِينَ وَلَنَبْلُوَ أَخْبَارَكُمْ. And indeed we will test you. And it will tell who are you. Are you a believer? Are you a non-believer? And this is another test so far. They are not going to the willpower test. The willpower test that we tell you. There will be a many willpower tests. Surah Yusuf explained that. We find in Surah Al-Baqarah a big verse about that. But of course, those people who are give glad tidings to those believers. So that's in Surah Al-Baqarah. Now after this, now we found out two verses, verse number 32 and verse number 34. They both tell about the kuffar. They are telling our two branches. One is that branch who are, of course, the kuffar from start. And now this branch, that those people who are believers but then they hindered away from the path. What is to happen with them? And that is, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَصَدُّوا عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَشَاقُّوا الرَّسُولَ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الْهُدَى لَن يَضُرُّوا اللَّهَ شَيْئًا وَسَيُحْبِطُ أَعْمَالَهُم. They were believers at the start, but now they won't be. These that you might be doing so much good deeds until there is an arm length of you and Jannah, but then you do the deeds of the wretched ones and you become in Jahannam, that is hellfire. Just like that. And again, those people who do this, their deeds are fruitless. These deeds will not be counted. They will be given to some other people. Just like there is another hadith of those people who spread bloodshed and have corruption. That is another hadith. But again, these people's deeds will be also fruitless. So, of course, you shouldn't. Those deeds will not be counted, because whoever dies as a disbeliever, he dies as a disbeliever. Whoever dies as a believer, he dies as a believer. Even though he was the disbeliever, but then for the last 2-3 years of his life, finally becomes a believer. Even though there is an arm length between him and the hellfire, he does the deeds, and then after that, then he does Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu atii'u Allah wa atii'u Rasul wa la tubtilu a'malakum. Again, it is that if you obey Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then your deeds will not be fruitless. That is easy. But you will be going through tests. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْجُوعِ وَخَوْفٍ وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ. Of course, that comes وَالْأَنفُسِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Now after this, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَصَدُّوا عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ مَاتُوا وَهُمْ كُفَّارٌ فَلَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ. Of course, they were those who disbelieve, who hinder from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then their deeds will be fruitless. And if they die like that, they will be fruitless and they will be. Now this verse has two interpretations. The first interpretation is that those people who were disbelievers from before, who had already hindered from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala since their birth, and they will go to the hellfire. But those people, the second interpretation is that those people who were believers were then hindered away. This can be also that interpretation. So there are two interpretations about this. Now we go to the 36th verse. Because now the 36 to 38 verse, these two verses of the surah ends, I want to talk about this because you want to get the full picture in only this verse. Now, innamal hayatu dunya la'ibun wa lahu wa in tu'minu wa tattaqu yu'tikum ujurakum wa yas'alkum amwalakum. Of course, it is that if you take this as just a play and pomp and amusement and a pastime and you stay izzat fi dunya yuhibbuk Allah. So if you do that, that is great actually, because in Surah Al-Hadid we found out لعب ولو وتفاخر بينكم وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يهيج طعم. So it's like that. Now we find out that this is leading to something. Yeah, of course we have found that in other surahs too, but what is this really coming to? Why is this addressing the people? We're gonna find out in the 38th verse. يَسْأَلْكُمُوهَا فَيُخْفِكُمْ تَبْخَلُوا وَيُخْرِجْ أَضْغَانَكُمْ. After this, if you are to ask them it, they would bring out their enemies. It tells that they are so much addicted to the dunya. Why are they fearing death? Why are they saying that we don't want to go to the battle? Just like this, before we had a verse, the 36th verse, that, well, I will recite this, that we had that, they wanted peace actually. فَلَا تَهِنُوا وَتَدْعُوا إِلَى السَّلْمِ وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ وَاللَّهُ مَعَكُمْ وَلَن يَتِرَكُمْ أَعْمَالَكُمْ. That they would say, now when the kuffar were of course from Japan at that time, why don't we sue for peace? That time they were so scared, they were scared of death, they were drinking out their enemies over there. But they couldn't sue for peace. Makkah was, they wouldn't actually accept, the kuffar would never accept. They would take the treaty, tear it in two. You might see what happened to the Surah Hudaybiyah. Just look at that. They signed a treaty and they broke it 3 years into it. So, of course, there was not the chance, and of course, they would have the upper hand. And when the Surah Hudaybiyah come before all the treaty was broken and all that stuff, before that they had the upper hand. They gone into Makkah. Amina muhallikina rusukum wa muqassirina la takhaf. That was their upper hand. And now we go ahead that again their desires come over here. That أنتم هؤلاء تدعون لتنفقوا في سبيل الله فمنكم من يبخل ومن يبخل فإنما يبخل عن نفسه. And that is that now those people, when they were called to spend in the cause of Allah subhanahu, they are giving all the weaknesses. Now when they just take the oaths of their screen, shagalatna amwaluna wa ahluna fastaghfir lana, then after that they say ittakhadhu aymanahum junnatan fasaddu an sabilillah. That is basically the screen. Otherwise they become very like, we don't want to spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we won't spend. And they're just like that. We found out in another surah, Surah Munafiqun, that they are the ones who call that do not spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Don't spend to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Don't spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until the Prophet is deserted. Do not spend. That is their agenda. Now after this, وَاللَّهُ الْغَنِيُّ وَأَنْتُمُ الْفُقَرَاءُ وَإِن تَتَوَلَّوْا يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُوا أَمْثَالَكُمْ. Now, again is that if you take this job, if you are like, okay, we are going to stay away, we are going to leave this mission, we are going to stick to the worldly life. That is the correlation with the verse 36. Then they will choose another qawm. You see that the Arabs are on top. But in the 12th, 11th century, things started to fall apart. And of course, the Abbasid Caliphate, after that, well, things fell down. And the Abbasid Caliphate's last caliph was ruled by the Tartaris, that is the Turks. And they were rolled into a carpet. And the Abbasid Caliphate was finished. But then, the job was given to the Turks and the Khilafat Osmaniya was made. You know, Khilafat Osmaniya, even bigger than the Roman Empire. It lasted 600 years. Roman Empire, Byzantine Empire lasted 1,300 years. But they took 3 continents. They had Asia, Middle East, Asia Minor. In Europe, they had Balkans. They had the North Africa. They were all to them. They had 3 continents. It was the gateway of trading routes in the Mediterranean. Now, if we see why are there so many percentage of Muslims in Kosovo and Bosnia and Herzegovina and Albania, these countries, because they were the Ottomans remain. So the Ottomans, they really have left our implants till now. Till now we can see their implant in these places. You can see they were such a big qawm. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows which qawm will be given the task after this and after this. So nobody knows. And of course it means that if we hinder away from the path, some other qawm will be given this task and they will not do it like this. They will be given the task, some other qawm will be given the task. You will be, well, of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will leave those people who do not listen. Of course, summun bukmun umyun. We will have a seal on our hearts and our eyes and our ears. And after that, some other qawm will be given that task. So that's why it is really important to keep that in mind, that we need to stay connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the whole thing that I was saying at the start of all these programs for at least 20 days right now. So we can connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this troubling time. So finally, these troubling times have at least given us an opportunity. I mean, this is very bad in many ways. It's killing so many people. There are more cons than good, but at least we can make the best out of a bad situation, that we can connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are a lot of ways to make the best out of a bad situation. So that's why we can find out as a good way to connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and keep our faith strong in these times. So this is all for today. We are going to do the next surahs now, very few remaining. Ahqaf we are going to do, and Jathiyah. These are both about the kuffar. And then Dukhan is also the same. But the thing is that they are not Bhatti. So that is the only thing, but they basically have the same title about this. So these are actually the groups of odd Madhi surahs. Because most Madhi surahs talk about everyday matters. But these are the ones who talk about the kuffar and the munafiqeen. So this is all for today, and if you want to see more videos, go to my website zidanehamid.com and also go to my Facebook page. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm waiting for your feedback. Jazakallahu khairan wa sallallahu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.